Great afternoon, everyone. Happy Aloha Friday. Welcome to the Senate Committees on Public Safety and Military Affairs and Energy and Intergovernmental Affairs. This is our 3 p.m. joint agenda. Today is April 11th, 2025, and we're in conference room 225. This hearing is also being streamed on the Hawaii State Senate's YouTube channel. Few housekeeping announcements. In the unlikely case of technical failures, this meeting will reconvene here in conference room 225 on April 14th, 2025 at 3 p.m. For all testifiers, including those on Zoom, we ask that you stand on your written testimony. If your oral testimony is different from your written testimony, the time limit for each testifier will be 1 minute. The content, including the hearing notice, copies of the resolutions, and testimony can be found on the legislature's website. If time permits, decision-making will occur after we hear from those offering testimony. Okay, first up on our list is HCR 67, House Draft 1. This is requesting the Governor, State Building Code Council, planning departments of each county, mayors of each county, and chairs of the Senate and House Representatives standing committees on housing to develop a comprehensive strategy for adopting updated building codes. On our list of registered testifiers for this, we have William Anelson in support, Ted Kefalis in support, and Frank Schultz in support. That completes our list of registered testifiers. Anyone else in the audience that wishes to testify on HCR 67? Okay, if not, members, there's no one to ask questions of, and I'll turn it over to my co-chair, Wakai.
Thank you. We're moving on to HCR 164 HD1, urging the city and county of Honolulu, county of Maui, county of Hawaii, and county of Kauai to create and maintain a comprehensive list of hurricane refuges and shelters electronically accessible to the public. On our testifiers, we have Keith Hayashi from the Department of Education has submitted testimony or commentary. Dantry Bartotis from the state. Oh, hi.
Thank you, chairs, vice chairs, and committee members. I'm Savannah Peskin with the Hawaii State Council on Developmental Disabilities. Here on behalf of Dantry Bartotis, we'll stand on our written testimony in support. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Savannah. Anyone from the Climate Change and Health Working Group? Members, they've submitted testimony in support. Chandra Casey Richmond, Cindy Ajimine, and Frank Schultz, all individuals in support. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on House Concurrent Resolution 164? Members, any questions for Savannah? If not, do you want to just jump into? Oh, sorry, sorry, one more. Back page. We have one more item on this agenda, that is House Concurrent Resolution 180 HD1, requesting the statewide Office on Homelessness and Housing Solutions, Department of Law Enforcement, homeless coordinators in each county, county law enforcement, and social services providers to work collaboratively and effectively to address homelessness in Hawaii. On our testifiers list, we have Jun Yang from the State Office of Homelessness and Housing Solutions has provided commentary, and we have Frank Schultz, an individual who has provided support. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on HCR 180? And that's it, these three items for the agenda. And do you want to move into?
Yep, you can roll into decision.
Yep, pass it over to you.
Okay, thank you, Co-Chair Wakai. We're going back to our first item on our agenda, House Concurrent Resolution 67. This is requesting the Governor, State Building Code Council, planning departments of each county, mayors of each county, and chairs of the Senate and House of Representatives standing committees on housing to develop a comprehensive strategy for adopting building codes. The chairs having co-conferred, the recommendation here is to pass as is. Any further discussion? Okay, if not.
Just 1 second.
Yep. Co-chair is doing double duty here.
Yes, you're getting full value from me.
Okay, the recommendation is to pass as is. Senator Wakai for the vote. Chair votes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga.
Aye.
Senator Rhodes. Aye. Senator Clark.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
For EIG members, same recommendation to pass this measure as is. Any discussion? If not, Senator Richards, I vote yes.
On HCR 67, House Draft 1, passing as is. Chair votes aye. Senator Chang is excused. Senator DeCoit.
Aye.
Senator Richards, aye. And Senator Favela. Chair, you have 3 in favor. Motion is adopted.
Thank you. The next measure is House Concurrent Resolution 164 HD1. This is urge the various counties to maintain a comprehensive list of hurricane refuges and shelters that's accessible electronically to the public. Chairs have conferred, and we would like to pass this measure out as is. Any discussion? If not, Senator Richards, I vote yes.
On HCR 164, House Draft 1, Chair votes aye. Vice Chair is excused. Senator DeCoit. And we have an aye. Senator Richards, aye, and Senator Favela is excused.
Okay, for the Committee on Public Safety and Military Affairs, Chair's recommendation for HCR 164 is to pass as is. Any further discussion? If not, Senator Wakai for the vote. Chair votes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga.
Aye.
Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator DeCourt.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
We move on to the last measure on this agenda, that is House Concurrent Resolution 180 HD1. This is asking that various housing folks, law enforcement folks, all the coordinators to address homelessness throughout the state of Hawaii in a comprehensive manner. The chairs have conferred, and for this measure, we would like to pass this one out as is. Any discussion? If not, Senator Richards, I vote yes.
On HCR 180, House Draft 1, of the 3 members in attendance, are there any voting with reservations or in opposition? Chair, you have 3 in favor. Motion is adopted.
Thank you.
Okay, same recommendation for the Committee on Public Safety and Military Affairs for HCR 180, House Draft 1, is to pass as is. Any discussion? If not, Senator Wakai for the vote. Chair votes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga.
Aye.
Senator Rhodes. Aye. Senator DeCourt.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Okay, this concludes our joint meeting. We're adjourned. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Aloha Friday again. Welcome to the Joint Committees on Public Safety and Military Affairs and Health and Human Services for our 3:01 p.m. agenda. Today is April 11, 2025. We're in conference room 225. This hearing is also being streamed on the Hawaii State Senate's YouTube channel. A few housekeeping announcement. In the unlikely case of technical failures, this meeting will reconvene here in conference room 225 on April 14, 2025 at 3 p.m. For all testifiers, including those on Zoom, we ask that you stand on your written testimony. If your oral testimony is different from your written testimony, the time limit for each testifier will be 1 minute. The content, including the hearing notice, copies of the resolutions, and testimony can be found on the legislature's website. If time permits, decision-making will occur after we hear from those offering testimony. We only have one item on our joint agenda, which is House Concurrent Resolution 37, requesting the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency to collaborate with relevant agencies to develop initiatives and outreach programs to inform Kapuna about emergency programs. First up on our testifier list, we have Audrey Sugai Nakagawa for AARP Hawaii. Okay, AARP stands on his testimony in support.
Yes, Mr.
Audrey, hi Audrey.
Hi. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't
Sorry
turn
about
on my
that.
video. No, that's
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
So I'm Audrey Suganakagawa, and ARP stands on its testimony in strong support. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, Mike Nguyen for Aloha Care in support on Zoom.
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Thank you. Flomi Isa in support on Zoom.
Good afternoon. I would like to address the committees, Chair Senator Brandon J.C. Elefante, Vice Chair Senator Glenn Wakai, and honorable members of the Committee on Public Safety and Military Affairs, as well as Chair Senator Joy San Buenaventura, Vice Chair Senator Henry J. Aquino, and honorable members of the Committee on Health and Human Services. My name is Flomi S. and I am a student at UH Manoa, majoring in social work. Today, I'm here testifying in strong support of this resolution to request Hawaii Emergency Management Agency to collaborate with other agencies to develop programs focused on emergency preparedness for our kupuna. As a fellow Pacific Islander, I'm deeply aware of the value that our kupuna bring to our communities. It is through them that traditions, language, and culture are able to be passed down through generations. Because of this, I believe it is our kuleana to take care of them. We must also remember that Hawaii is a small island, and it is because of this that makes us more vulnerable to natural disasters. I think this program would really benefit our communities because it will help prepare our elders to stay safe and protect themselves. I respectfully encourage you to support this resolution. Thank you again for this opportunity to testify. Mahalo.
Thank you so much. From the Pro City Neighborhood Board, Chair Larry Viray on Zoom.
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Okay, thank you. And then we also have Administrator James Barros from Ha'ima in support, Gary Simon, Hawaii Family Caregivers Coalition in support, Dottie Kelly Paddock for Hui o Ha'ula in support, Frank Schultz, Barbara Tatsuguchi, Evelyn Lane, all in support. And that completes our list of registered testifiers. Anyone else in the audience that wishes to testify on HCR 37? Okay, if not, members, questions? Okay. Seeing that there's no questions, co-chair, you ready to roll into decision-making? Okay,
We don't have vote sheets. We need vote sheets. We got vote sheets. Okay. Oh, we don't have quorum. But we don't have quorum. Did you guys call? Well, we can go with PSM and let's see if I can get. We don't have quorum.
we can vote for
PSM can vote and then hopefully we can get
Okay.
Hashimoto in here.
So for the Committee on Public Safety and Military Affairs and conferring with the co-chair from Health and Human Services, Chair San Buenaventura, we are going to recommend that we pass HCR 37 as is. Okay. Any further discussion? If not, Senator Wakai, Chair votes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga. Aye. Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator Decourt.
Aye.
Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Okay, thank you.
So, why don't we recess for quorum?
Okay, we're going to recess for quorum for HHS. Recess subject to the call of the chair. Okay, we're reconvening our joint agenda 301 with Public Safety, Military Affairs, and HHS, and I'll defer to Chair San Buenaventura.
Okay, thank you very much. So same recommendation for HSH as is for HCR 37. Any comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Okay, Chair votes aye, Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Hashimoto. Aye. Senator Kalole is excused. Senator Favela is excused. Recommendation is adopted, Chair.
Okay, there being no further business, thank you so much. HHS, we're adjourned. Good afternoon, everyone. We are calling to order the Joint Committees on Public Safety and Military Affairs and Transportation, Culture, and Arts. This is our 302 agenda. Today is April 11, 2025, and we're in conference room 225. This hearing is also being streamed on the Hawaii State Senate's YouTube channel. Just a few housekeeping announcements. In the unlikely case of technical failures, this meeting will reconvene here in conference room 225 on April 14, 2025 at 3 p.m. For all testifiers, including those on Zoom, we ask that you stand on your written testimony. If your oral testimony is different from your written testimony, the time limit for each testifier will be 1 minute. The content, including the hearing notice, copies of the resolutions, and testimony can be found on the legislature's website. If time permits, decision-making will occur after we hear from those offering testimony. We just have 2 items on our agenda. First off is HCR 121. This is requesting the United States Department of Defense, United States Army, United States Navy, and State Department of Transportation to work with the appropriate state and county departments and agencies to expand, plan, and coordinate work related to using Kolikole Pass as an expanded emergency exit route. Oh, okay. Thank you, Daniel. Okay, first up on our list from the Department of Transportation, Director Ed Sniffen or Representative.
Good afternoon, Chairs. Melissa Miranda Johnson for the Department of Transportation. We'll stand on our testimony and support.
Okay, thank you so much. We have Shelby Pikachu Billionaire in support on Zoom.
Aloha mai kako, everyone. Good to see you all. Happy Good Friday. Chee-hoo. Good to see you all. We got Kole Pass, but if you send this bill or the resolution to a howler, they're going to call it a Kole Pass. Of course we need it. Make the U.S. military fund it. It's $1 a year lease land. I know under Paki, that's Royal Pattern 2243. Make them pay for it. Charge Donald Trump whatever. Charge China. Write it all off. But we need something in case of fire emergency because they're going to get locked down like happened in the last incident with the cops. Just because the cop had the car on the side of the beach, it was 3 hours in and out. So realistically, we have a giant fire or something. It's going to lock down the roads from ambulance. Your hospital's going to get gridded out. Luckily, we have the U.S. military, so it's a little different from Lahaina. We can get choppers in and out. If our boat harbor is okay, we can get to the water. But more than likely, the road's going to be blocked off. A Kanaka like me, we're going to survive. We'll just go to the mountain. But the average kapuna is probably going to suffer because it's in that low tide zone. So in case of tsunami, it has to go like up to so many roads up. And I'm not sure how you're going to get the ambulance or emergency vehicles in if the roads are all locked down.
Thank you, Shelby.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, next up is Jason Chung from Hawai'i Military Affairs Council in support, Frank Schultz in support, Patty Kahanamoku Teruya in support, Pamela Anderson in support, Austin Salcido in support. That completes our list of registered testifiers. Anyone else wishing to testify on HCR 121? If not, members, questions?
I had a question.
Yeah, Senator Rhodes.
For Department of Transportation, if you're still there.
Still here. Go ahead.
Right. It seems like we've been talking about this forever. Is there do we know what the holdup is? Is it on the military side or is there another problem?
There has been discussions over the past few years, Senator, and we are going to be making some improvements later this year so that at least for emergency egress, Kole Pass would be open.
Okay, so we're not just pounding our heads against the wall here?
No, you're not.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks, Cheers.
Sure.
Okay, any further questions? Okay, if not, I'll turn it over to Co-Chair Lee.
Thanks. Moving on to HCR 43, requesting the Department of Law Enforcement and Department of Transportation to study the possibility of a highway patrol and the installation of speed cameras along major freeways and highways in primary areas of speeding, including the impact it would have on the district courts. And testifying first on HCR 43 is the Department of Transportation online.
Currently unavailable on Zoom, Chair.
I'm here.
Oh, did you want to?
Department of Transportation?
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, there you are.
Yep. Having difficulties this afternoon. We'll stand on our testimony. Unfortunately, what got submitted said comments, but we're in support of this, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Signed up to testify next is Shelby Pikachu Billionaire on Zoom. Good afternoon.
Yoo-hoo. Again, great. So I like the study for this, but with appropriations, I know we're late to resolution. It does sound good to me, but it sounds like chips. Bad boys. Now Doe has to do fireworks, gambling, all these other things. There's a lot of stuff on their table. So looking at realistic, of course, to study it, I agree. But in Europe, certain countries, they'll put the camera with the speed bumps where it just drops down, and so they can automatically stop it with the camera, so we can save the court system a lot of money and time. Thank you very much. I stand in support. Aloha.
Thank you. And then next we have Nikos Leverins, also on Zoom.
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Okay, thank you. And then we have written testimony submitted from also the comments from the judiciary, support from the Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization, and 2 other individuals. Is there anyone else wishing to testify in this measure this afternoon? Seeing none, are there any questions? All right, seeing none, let me turn it back over to my co-chair.
Okay, thank you, Co-Chair Lee. If you're okay with it, we're ready to roll into decision-making. We'll go back to the top of our agenda, which is HCR 121, requesting the United States Department of Defense, United States Army, United States Navy, and the State Department of Transportation to work with appropriate state and county departments and agencies to expand, plan, and coordinate work related to using Kole Pass as an expanded emergency exit route. The chairs having conferred, a recommendation here is to pass with technical amendments. Any further discussion? If not, Senator Wakai for the vote. Chair votes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga. Aye. Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator Decourt. Aye. Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. For Committee on Transportation, Culture, and the Arts, same recommendation. There's no discussion. I'll take the vote. I'll vote aye. Vice Chair Inouye excused. Senator Elefante.
Aye.
Senator Kanuha.
Aye.
And Senator Decort. Thank you. Recommendations adopted.
Okay, thank you. That concludes our joint agenda. We're adjourned. One more. Sorry.
Then moving on to
Sorry, my
second
bad.
measure. No worries. HCR 43 requesting Department of Law Enforcement and Department of Transportation to study the possibility of highway patrol and speed cameras on H1. Recommendation for this is to move forward with, as is. Any discussion? Seeing none. Voting on HCR 43, recommendation is to pass unamended, noting Vice Chair Inouye excused. Are there any other reservations or no's? Seeing none, the recommendation is adopted. Sorry. Noting a no from Senator Decort. The recommendation is adopted.
Okay, for the Committee on Public Safety and Military Affairs, same recommendation as TCA, is to pass as is on HCR 43. Any further discussion? If not, Senator Wakai for the vote, Chair votes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga. Aye. Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator Decort. No. Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
We're good now. Okay, there being no further business on the joint agenda, we're adjourned. Great afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Senate Committee on Public Safety and Military Affairs for our 305 agenda. We apologize for the delayed start. We had a few joint agendas earlier today. Today is April 11th, 2025, and we are in conference room 225. This hearing is also being streamed on the Hawaii State Senate's YouTube channel. Just a few housekeeping announcement. In the unlikely case of technical failures, this meeting will reconvene here in conference room 225 on April 14th, 2025 at 3 p.m. For all testifiers, including those on Zoom, we ask that you stand on your written testimony. If your oral testimony is different from your written testimony, the time limit for each testifier will be 1 minute. The content, including the hearing notice, copies of the resolutions, and testimony, can be found on the legislature's website. If time permits, decision-making will occur after we hear from those offering testimony. First up on our list is HCR 69 HD1, requesting the Office of the State Fire Marshal to convene a vegetation management working group to study, evaluate, and make recommendations for regulations that define property owner obligations for vegetation management on public and private property to mitigate wildfire risks, and make recommendations that define a line clearance, tree trimmer, and establish minimum safety standards, training, and qualifications for individuals performing line clearance, tree trimming at or near electrical utility facilities. First up on our list of registered testifiers is Michael Angelo from DCCA.
Afternoon, Chair, Vice Chairs, members of the committee. My name is Michael Angelo, Executive Director, Division of Consumer Advocacy. We largely stand on a written testimony and support, but I'd like to supplement it with two personal experiences to highlight the importance of this from a perspective of the complexity and the dangers of not prioritizing this. Outside of my home a few months ago, there was climbing vines that were starting at the ground, going up a utility pole, electric utility pole, and these caught on fire largely due to the climbing vines coming up through the infrastructure. Surrounding the pole was ornamental vegetation, and then you go to the telecom space and you go to the electric utility space. So there's always complexities around who's responsible for clearing what in those areas. And this was a dangerous situation where there were lots of sparks and a fire danger. And then a few months later, there was bamboo on the lines further down and causing sparks, called the fire department and said, call us back if it catches on fire, because you have a lot of sparking lines today because of high humidity conditions. So the neighbors got that cleared up, thankfully, but it again goes to the complexities of who's responsible for what and the dangers if they are not taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Director Angelo. Chair Don Chang, DLNR, in support, or representative?
Yeah, Rob out for Don Chang. We support this measure with comments.
Okay, support with comments. Thank you, Rob. Leo Sunshin, PUC, in support.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members. My name is Kyra Howe, Utility Analyst at the PUC. The Commission stands on its written testimony in support of this resolution, and we're available for comments or questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Janine Suki, Hawaiian Telcom.
Aloha Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. Janine Suki, I'm going to stand on our written comments with requested amendments and just wanted to note that regulations in other states appropriately limit vegetation management requirements to electric utilities due to the unique wildfire hazards posed by high voltage power lines. These precedents underscore the importance of tailoring policies to specific risk factors while avoiding unnecessary obligations for communication providers. And we've submitted a list of requested amendments and are respectfully requesting you consider them. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Wendy Oda, Hawaii Electric.
Good afternoon, Chair and Chairperson, and members of the committee. My name is Wendy Oda. I'm from Hawai'i Electric. I stand by our testimony, but I'm here to take any questions. Thank you.
And testimony is in support? Yes. Okay, thank you. Rebecca Lieberman, Charter Communications.
Alicia Thompson, in place of Rebecca Lieberman for Charter, based on our written testimony.
Okay, in support, thank you. Henry Curtis, Executive Director for Life of the Land.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, and committee members. On most PUCs, there's a wall between the staff and the regulators, so the chair can appoint somebody to serve on something and there's no problem. Hawaii does not have the firewall, so if you're talking to a staff member, you're talking to the commission. And that's why all working groups involve staff and all parties. This particular proceeding working group mentions that it has 2 of the 3 parties in the fire mitigation docket and the regulator, but not the third party. And therefore, we suggest amendment and intervenor in docket 2025-0156 should be included, and that would resolve the due process issues. Mahalo.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Ka'eo Duarte for Kamehameha Schools in support.
Stand on testimonies, we stand on testimony support, and we find if you amend the resolution to match the Senate resolution SCR 149.
Okay.
You've already heard it.
Thank you. In support, Serena Harris, individual, in support, Frank Schultz, in support. That completes our list of registered testifiers for HCR 69, House Draft 1. Anyone else that wishes to testify on this measure? Okay. If not, members, questions? Okay. We will move on to our next item, which is House Concurrent Resolution 133. This is strongly supporting the construction of a floating dry dock at Pearl Harbor. First up is Jason Chung for Hawaii Military Affairs Council in support, and Frank Schultz in support. That completes our list of registered testifiers. Anyone else on HCR 133? Okay. If not, members, there's no one to ask questions of. We'll move on to our next item. HCR 153. This is requesting the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation to incrementally and systematically reduce the number of inmates incarcerated in private out-of-state correctional facilities. First up from DCR, Director Tommy Johnson. Okay, I don't see him. Is Director Johnson on Zoom, Natasha?
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Nathan Lee, ACLU Hawaii. Okay, thank you. Chair Mark Patterson from the Hawaii Correctional System Oversight Commission in support. Laurel Breyer, for Kauai Women's Caucus in support. Luana Peterson, Reimagining Public Safety in support. Brittany Kealoha for the Na Opio Vaivai in support. Robert Craig from Abolish Private Prisons in support. Kristen Young, Faith Action for Community Equity in support. And then we also received 44 individuals in support and Frank Schultz in opposition. That completes our list of registered testifiers on HCR 153. Anyone else that wishes to testify on this resolution? If not, members, questions? Okay, we'll go on to our next item, which is our last item, is HCR 23. This is requesting the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitations and planning and designing the new Oahu Community Correctional Center in Halawa to include a circuit and district court facility and establish a release procedure under which detainees or inmates upon release are transported to a site other than residential communities or public spaces. First up is Director Johnson from DCR in support. Natasha is a representative from DCR on Zoom.
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Okay, thank you. We also have Rod Miley from the Judiciary in support and Frank Schultz in support. That completes our list of registered testifiers. Anyone else on HCR 23 House Draft 1? Okay, if not, members, questions on that? Okay, if not, ready to roll into decision making. We'll go back to the top of our agenda, which is HCR 69. This is requesting the Office of the State Fire Marshal to convene a vegetation management working group to study, evaluate, and make recommendations for regulations that define property owner obligations for vegetation management on public and private property to mitigate wildfire risks, and make recommendations that define a line clearance tree trimmer and establish minimum safety standards, training, and qualifications for individuals performing line clearance tree trimming at or near electrical utility facilities. Our recommendation here is to pass with amendments. We're going to add the State Department of Land and Natural Resources, DLNR, chairperson or designee. We're also going to add the State Department of Education superintendent or designee. We're going to accept Charter Communications suggested amendments in their testimony, accept Hawaiian Telecom suggested amendments in their testimony, and then add to the list of transmittal agencies in the be it further resolved clause to include DLNR and the Board of Education. With that, members, any further discussion? Okay, if not, Senator Wakai for the vote. Chair votes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga. Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator Decort.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you so much. HCR 133, which is strongly supporting the construction of a floating dry dock at Pearl Harbor. Chair's recommendations to pass as is. Any further discussion? If not, Senator Wakai for the vote. Chair votes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga. Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator Decort.
Aye.
Chair, recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. Next up is HCR 153. This is requesting the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitations to incrementally and systematically reduce the number of inmates incarcerated in private, out-of-state correctional facilities. Recommendation is to pass as is. Any further discussion? If not, Vice Chair Wakai for the vote. Chair votes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga. Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator Decort.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. And our last item on our agenda is HCR 23. This is requesting the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation in planning and designing the new Oahu Community Correctional Center in Halawa to include a circuit and district court facility and establish a release procedure under which detainees or inmates upon release are transported to a site other than residential communities or public spaces. Recommendation here is to pass as is. Any further discussion? Okay, if not, Senator Wakai for the vote. Chair votes aye.
I vote yes. Senator Fukunaga. Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator Decort.
Aye.
Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. And on a note of point of personal privilege, I just want to thank Vice Chair Wakai, Senator Fukunaga, Senator Rhodes, and Senator Decort for really being actively engaged in this committee, as this might be probably our last committee on bills and resolutions before we head to conference. So thank you for being here to vote. And I would just also want to acknowledge Taylor Sales from my committee clerk, as well as Faith Kentua, our session staff. We also have Jasmine Pontilias Dave, our SMA researcher, Natasha Garcia on IT, and everyone else. So thank you so much for your support for the Committee on Public Safety and Military Affairs. With that, everyone, have a great weekend. We're adjourned.